Hello, Padres fans, and welcome back. I bet you didn't think we were going to make a video here after losing the season, but we're here with more news. It's Brandon and Ethan back with another video, and we're here to announce a retirement of some sorts. It's Mike Shildt. He's gone from the Padres. He has announced his official retirement, and the Padres are about to go on the hunt for a new person in the dugout. So, Brandon, what are your thoughts on this? What's going to happen from here? I bet there's a million questions happening to our viewers right now. So let's just dive right in here.
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously this was not necessarily expected. He had a couple years left on his contract that he signed originally with the Padres. People will remember Shildt. He was really good for the Cardinals as a manager in like the early 2020s, and then they surprisingly let him go for Ali Marmol, who's still their manager. Um, yeah, I mean, this is tough. I mean, he was, obviously the Padres haven't won anything with Mike Shildt. So, I mean, in that sense, it's been a failure. But, he's also piloted the team to 90 plus wins in consecutive seasons for the first time in franchise history. Like this has been a good couple of years, even if, obviously the postseason success hasn't necessarily been there. The team's obviously only been to the NLCS once, in this current core era, and obviously that was with Bob Melvin in 2022. So, it's tough to see him go because I think he was a really good manager, and I think that the Padre, AJ Preller really liked him. I think that there was a general consensus that he was the guy for the Padres. But listen, I mean, he's been coaching for 30 plus years in baseball. I mean, the rigors of the game catch up to you. I'm sure, again, this was a tough season for the Padres just because the talent was obviously there, but the offense really sputtered. Obviously that wild card round loss was very difficult just because the offense did not produce in that series, which as a manager, there's nothing you can really do anything about. So, I obviously from a personal standpoint, I totally understand. Obviously, we wish the best for Mike Shildt and whatever his future endeavors are, but this puts the Padres, in a really tough spot because this is already a crucial offseason with, Dylan Cease and Michael King are free agents. Obviously there's some payroll concerns. There's the lockout concern in 2027, and now they need to find a new manager. And so, it's just another question that this team needs to answer this winter.
Yeah, it's a really interesting time for the Padres. But look, I mean, the Padres this wasn't that long ago that Shildt also joined the team. I mean, in 2019, there was the dismissal of Bob Melvin. So it wasn't like he was this veteran guy. Look, he treated the Padres very well in his career. And like you said, it was a shock to see him like retire with a few years left on his contract. Um, I also could say that again, this year was not the year of the Padres, unfortunately, and I think that was a huge upset to Shildt. Um, but it is a bit of surprise too when you have people still performing so well, like Tatis, like Machado. Again, it's up in the air what's going to happen with people like Dylan Cease.
Mhm.
It does also remind me, to a similar sense, I'll always bring it back to the Baltimore Orioles, where I mean, the with the Baltimore Orioles, if people didn't know, their manager got fired and they put in an interim manager, but they're in the same boat right now where the interim manager is not going to stay. They don't know who the manager is going to be, for the coming 2026 season. It for any MLB team, it puts the front office in a huge disadvantage of not only figuring out what are you going to do with your players, but what managerially are you going to look for? I mean, hiring process in any job is hard, but to find a manager, especially, and I know Brandon, you mentioned this in an article that you posted. I know a lot this team would really like a manager with a recent World Series ring on their finger is not an easy task.
No, I mean it's tough. I mean, and especially it's worth keeping in mind, 10 teams, like one third of the league this offseason was looking for a new manager. Now the Texas Rangers have already hired Skip Schumacher. The Pirates extended their interim manager, Don Kelly, but that still leaves 8 teams, including the Padres now, that are looking for a new manager. I mean, it's just there's a lot of competition. The Orioles are a great example because the Orioles did not have a great 2025 season, but they are built to win now. I mean, they obviously won 100 plus games recently. They were in the playoffs the last couple of years. I mean, that's another team with a core that, an experienced manager is probably going to look at and say, I can do something with that team. So it's not just that the Padres need to find it's not like they're the only team looking for a manager. There's gonna be competition. The Braves need a manager. They're a good team. I mean, so there's a lot of situations right now where it's going to be up to AJ Preller and whoever else is going to be involved in this hiring process to hire someone that, again, this is an aging Padres team. I mean, there's some young guys. Jackson Merrill's really good, obviously, but Fernando Tatis has been around for a while. Manny Machado's older. You Darvish is older. Joe Musgrove is older. I mean, this is an older team with World Series expectations, even despite the fact they're playing in the same division as the Dodgers. So, it's going to have to be someone who, commands a lot of respect, someone who people know. And again, that just the options are going to be limited because of how many teams are looking. So again, none of this is to say that the Padres aren't going to find the right guy. I mean, again, they're a really attractive opening right now because of how talented this team is. It's just a situation of the expectations are really high because again, this team hasn't won a division title since 2006. They haven't been in the World Series since the 90s. I mean, there's a lot of expectations that come with, the failures of not living up to expectations that this recent core has. So we'll see what happens. I think that again, I think AJ Preller is going to make the right hire. I think that he's very aggressive. I think people are going to want to work with him into the sense of wanting to win right now. But obviously, we'll see what happens on that front.
Yeah, it's a game of who's to say, and it's not going to happen in theory till spring. We have time. The World Series hasn't happened yet. The Padres are out of contention. It's they're not too concerned at this point. There's other problems to be had, and right now, as I always say, only time will tell. So, as always, we'd love to hear your comments, thoughts. Do you think that Shildt made the right choice of retiring? Probably not, but that's up to you in the comments, and we will respond to every single one as you comment down below.